It's kind of shocking, but I do have some rules. I'm not supposed to be a comedian, but we'll see how it goes. It's kind of hard because I'm used to talk to these little kids that run around that's like 10 and under, but now I got to talk to you adults, so it's a little different. Several months ago, Haven tells me I've got to give a speech. So I'm thinking, I've got 2 weddings to go to, so I went to the first one. John let me down because he didn't give a speech. Then Jaden, I think she's here somewhere, but your dad Lance, he also let me down because he didn't give a speech. So who was the last person I heard give a dad speech? And it's Terry. That's been years ago, and of course, my memory is not very good, but I know he gave a nice, heartfelt speech. It was lovely because Roxy told me it was. But women, they eat this wedding stuff up, and us guys, we're just here. So being in education, there's this thing called AI and ChatGPT, and it wrote me a wonderful speech. We go for walks, and Zayden and Roxy, we're walking, and I start reading it to them, and it's like, that's not you. So here's my speech. Dean and Haven, Ron and Laura, Roxy and I are so grateful you guys are here. It's a wonderful day, and we hope it's been wonderful so far, and you continue to make it wonderful. You drink a lot, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as some of you know, Haven, she's pretty driven. She's very determined. And at a young age, she says, Dad, I want to be an optometrist. And I say, sure, whatever, hon. And so, I got to be her junior year in high school, and in that junior year of high school, we go and tour optometry schools before we tour undergrad. So, so we decided, hey, this is what we want to do. So eventually, she gets accepted to the University of Illinois, where we met some wonderful lifelong friends. ILL? Yes. Next, she goes to Memphis, the Southern College of Optometry, where she met, I guess I'll say this wonderful guy right here. And so they did their schooling almost together, So if you can go to grad school and survive that together, this marriage thing probably is going to be a piece of cake. Not to leave you SEO people out and U of T people. I don't know if you got a slogan or not, like ILL. Do you have something?
Go Vols!
Go Vols! Haven's pretty secret a lot about her dating life. She doesn't give too much, and I don't know if we got any Fairfield people in the crowd, but I'm sure she's glad she got rid of the Fairfield people. So we first heard about Dean, I don't know, February, March, something like that. COVID hits, next thing you know, I've heard his name once or twice, and he's at my house in April. Next thing you know, we go somewhere on vacation as a family every summer, and next thing you know, Haven's like, hey, is it okay if Dean goes on vacation with us? Well, you can't say no, I've met him once in my life, and now he's going on vacation with us, and so anyway, we drive to Knoxville, pick him up on our way to Outer Banks, and on the way to Outer Banks, of course, we learned a lot about Dean, how he's this water guru and all this stuff. He's a pretty confident guy, and so Anyway, ever since Haven could talk, she likes to talk, right, Karen? Yeah. Most of us who know Haven know she likes to talk. And so, anyway, she started our planning our vacations from an early age. And part of our family was like, try to do things every, Zayden, he gets his day, Haven gets her day, Roxy never gets her day. I usually get my day. But now Dean is with us. So we got to have Dean's Day, and Haven made sure that first trip that we got Dean's Day the very first day. And his day was a sailing adventure. Yeah. So, we've heard on the way to Outer Banks how this, he scuba dives and he fishes underneath the water and he's all this, this guru. And so we get on this boat, and as soon as we get on this boat, we start taking off. And as we take off, him and the boat captain are talking, and it's like, I think Dean really knows his stuff. And so, anyway, next thing you know, Dean, he's selling us. And so we go, and he's whatever these selling people do. And we're going pretty fast, and the captain's like, oh, we're at such and such knots. Oh, now we're at such and such knots. And he looks, and he's like, man, I think this is as fast as a passenger ever has us going. And I think he was probably just making it to make Dean feel good, but, So in all seriousness, you're probably tired of listening to me talk. We are very, very fortunate to have Dean into our lives. His family, wonderful family. We're excited to unite with you guys. Thank you, Lamar. Wonderful service. Tony, going to entertain us tonight. Yeah. We've all known each other. They've known me since we were probably in diapers, so good to have you guys here. Glad you guys all came out tonight. Glad to see you guys. So in closing, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening and drink up. It's on Roxy tonight, so drink up. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Love you, Tony.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it for the happy couple, Dean and Haven. I've rewritten this speech about 4 times, trying to make it a little more PG, so we'll see what happens. My name is Hotch Chandler. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting me, I am Dean's slightly better looking best friend, basically brother. Dean and I met when we were in 6th grade, riding the bus home from school one day. We were instant friends, pretty much inseparable after we met that day, not in a weird way or anything, till about 11 years later when Dean moved from Knoxville to Memphis for medical school. For those of you that did not know Dean back in the day, you probably would have a hard time recognizing him right now. Picture a little kid, long red hair, way more pimples than you could count, and arguably in need of some anger management classes. Dean and I did pretty much everything together growing up. We slept in the woods on the weekends outside of his parents' lake house for fun. And we spent many hours on the lake living life wild and free. I like to think we were pretty good kids, but we did find ourselves in trouble from time to time. The first time we ever got in trouble was when we were in 6th or 7th grade. Dean's bedroom was on the 2nd story of the house, and we had easy access to the roof through his window. Late one night, a carton of eggs from the fridge disappeared. Those eggs were allegedly thrown at a few of the neighboring homes from a roof. Dean's mom, who I claim is a second mother, noticed an empty egg carton sitting in her fridge. Why we put an empty egg carton back in that fridge is a great question. She asked us about it, and of course, we denied everything. It was probably about 3 o'clock that morning, around the time that Dean's dad got home from working a late night shift in the ER. We heard him coming in the door, and we immediately ran upstairs and pretended to be asleep. Come to find out, he was a lot smarter than we thought. He came in Dean's room, flipped on the lights, immediately asked us about the egg situation. We, on the fly, told him that we cooked the eggs and had eaten them, lying through our teeth. He took us downstairs that night to the kitchen and continued his interrogation until we talked our way into a corner, telling him that the dishes we used were in the dishwasher. Spoiler alert, there were no dishes in that dishwasher. We spent the rest of that night and early morning doing physical exercises, including but not limited to push-ups, pull-ups, and running as our punishment. Some people in today's world might think that that was child abuse, but it was far from that. I think it's safe to say that Dean and I both secretly kind of enjoyed it. The next time we got in trouble was not so secretly enjoyable. Dean and I found ourselves standing with our hands on the front of a police car. I won't get into that one, but I do want to say thank you to Dean's dad for helping us get out of that night. In college, Dean and I lived together for about 3.5 years. Haven, I hope for your sake that he has changed a bit since then. It is probably no secret to you that Dean can be difficult to live with at times. It's also probably not a secret to you that Dean loves to cook and is really good at it. But doing the dishes was not something he was good at least in college. Dishes would be piled in our sink and all over the counters for days at a time at the loft. They smelled terrible, and I became accustomed to eating a lot of fast food to avoid doing Dean's dishes. If it wasn't for Dean's mom coming over from time to time, those dishes would still probably be there. We had our heads on pretty straight in college and did not find ourselves in as much trouble anymore. But on occasion, we would want to blow off some steam, and we would ransack the bar in our living room. Of course, every once in a while, we would drink too much. And one morning, after one of those occasions, I walked out of my room to find Dean pouring liquor bottles out in the toilet. I still don't understand his rationale for doing that, especially since we had both paid for them. Things that Dean does sometimes just don't make a lot of sense. Haven, I wish you the best of luck.
But he does the dishes.
He still does that, yeah, that sounds about right. Dishes have gotten better, okay, that's good for you. Well, one thing that has become pretty clear to me since Dean and Haven started dating, Haven's probably one of the best things that's happened to Dean, and I'm very happy for him that she agreed to marry him. I feel like I should probably say some nice things about Dean, so let me think here for a minute. In all seriousness, Dean, you're a hell of a guy. I'm proud to be your best friend and even more proud to have been a part of your life journey. I admire the dedication, commitment, and determination that you have with things you set out to accomplish. You have excelled in life so far, and I'm thrilled to watch you and Haven excel together. Looking back, it's awesome to see how all of those late nights studying, talking about life, and getting into some trouble have shaped you. Haven, you're getting a good one, and I think we all know that Dean is getting a great life partner too. I wish you both prosperity, peace, and happiness together in your marriage. Let's raise a glass to the newlyweds.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Claire, and I am Haven's matron of honor. Not everyone can say that they've had a best friend their whole life, but Haven and I can. Our parents introduced us at birth, then we became neighbors. But even the distance of college and adult life, we have remained each other's go-to for all that life throws our way. I will have to say, though, that walking across the street to discuss life was the easiest. We couldn't hide much from our parents. They always knew something was up when one of us would say, "I'm running over to Haven's," or "I'm running over to Claire's." We have lived our whole lives together up until this point, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Sorry, Dean, you're also stuck with me now. Living across the street from each other has brought many things, such as pushing baby dolls up and down Simpson Drive, decorating the playhouse, many pool activities, such as pushing my brother into the pool with the Little Tykes car, tattoos, scooter wrecks, concerts, spending snow days drinking hot chocolate in the hot tub, sleepovers, snow days adventures, cooking days, concerts, and so many memories. We have thrown countless parties together, whether that be New Year's or pool parties for any occasion. Haven has always been the communicator in our friendship, where I was always worried about what Roxy and Laura would fix us to eat. I think that's one of the reasons why our friendship and parties have always been so good. Another fun story about Haven's loyalty is when we decided to cut our hair one summer. Tony was supposed to be watching us, but I think he dozed off on the couch. So I had the wonderful idea to cut our hair. And Haven, being the smart one, said, "No, we should not do that." And I said, "Yes, yes." And so we got to town on our hair and we started cutting. And I said, "Keep going, keep going." And she said, "No, we need to stop. No, we need to stop." So we decided to finally stop, and we tried to cover it with toilet paper. But then Tony was really smart, and he found it in the trash can because he was confused why there was so much toilet paper. And Haven took the blame for many, many years, like our whole lives, until a few years ago when we finally came out and said that it was Claire's idea, and that's when I knew Haven was a loyal friend. Like I said, Haven was normally the one making smart decisions, but there was one instance that was kind of questionable. On one of many of our trips to St. Louis, somehow we ended up in a not so good part of town, and Haven refused to stop at the stop sign. She just barreled on through all of them. And I said, "I think we're in more danger not stopping." So now that you guys are living in St. Louis, I think you should drive. I have loved being a part of every season in Haven's life, through our childhood years, middle school, high school, college, and finally now our adult lives. Our friendship hasn't changed much over the years. We have always been there for each other's lives, and I know that will continue. Haven, you've been a consistent, kind, dependable, smart, and loving best friend. I have no doubt that you will also be that to Dean. Dean, you have somehow managed to leave Haven speechless. I have loved watching and listening to your love story. I am thankful Haven has found someone who respects, loves, and listens to her. I could not ask for more. Please join me in raising your glasses and cheers to Dean and Haven.
I love you so much.
All right, thank you, everyone. You're probably thinking, who's this caveman? I am Dean's brother. He is my redheaded twin. I used to be the runt, but I am taller now. If you thought Hotch's speech was something, I am Dean's younger brother by 2 years, and I witnessed all of this. So let's see what we got.
Here we go.
Oh man, that Moscow Mule is not kicking in yet. I thought about the ChatGPT thing, but that wouldn't be worth it for me. I kind of had trouble thinking about what I would say, but Dean is family, and family is something you know will never change. So I wrote down a list of things I can always count on Dean doing, and that you could always count on Dean doing. This is a list of behaviors from the same dean as I used to know him to the dean that I know now. So here's the first thing you can count on Dean to help you out with. Do you have a tech problem? Dean is the solution. Have you come home from a long day of work, maybe at the ER, where it's very stressful, and all you want to do is turn on the TV, maybe watch a movie with your custom surround sound system that you paid a lot for? No worries, Dean's got it covered. While you were working, Dean has already rerouted your system and set up a convenient Bluetooth and private VPN connection so you can enjoy your movie. He knows it works. He's already tested it by throwing a party. Sorry, you weren't invited. Oh, Dean has also jailbroken your iPhone. What's a jailbreak? No problem. Your phone is imprisoned by paywalls. Dean has found a way to download thousands of movies, games, songs, and computer software for free. Wait, it no longer works? No worries. Dean is just a FaceTime call away. His hours are as reliable as a bank. His available hours are weekdays, 9 to 5. Are you afraid that the government might find Dean's hoard of illegal movies? No worries. Just split the cost of your yearly subscription to NordVPN with Dean. Dean sends his regards in the form of a Venmo request. Or as I like to call it, Venmo. $150, please. Just remember, he's already done the hard work, free of charge. With your devices, Dean will experiment so that he already knows what to do for his. Has Dean sold you equipment that no longer works? No worries. He'll counsel you on how to use eBay to sell it to someone else. Dean, I still want that $40 back for that modem. Just kidding. It's on me. All right, here's the second thing Dean can help you out with. Are you bored with no friends? Well, are you willing to get into trouble? Don't worry, Dean can find something to do. Actually, Dean has a list of fun activities already planned for your day together. He likes to call it a mandatory adventure. Ding-dong ditching, shooting the neighbor's windows with a BB gun, hurling eggs at houses, hurling toilet paper at houses, hurling eggs at cars. If someone pisses you off, shoot them with an airsoft gun. When you make a mess, make sure to dispose of the evidence in a convenient location. Cleaning up should be fast and easy, minimal effort required. Mom, Dad, why won't my brother go outside with me? Have you ever eaten a nitrous hot dog? I have. Shooting fireworks at campers? Putting your dad's eye out with a toy football? Challenge accepted. Build primitive shelters in the woods. Homelessness solved. Flipping the golf cart. Flipping the jet ski. Damn it, Dean, please don't flip it with me in it. Nothing is worth doing unless it's taken to its limits. Jumping from the roof into the pool? How about home frying tortillas in a frisbee-shaped pan that you can hurl into the pool? Boom, big splash. Doing dishes sucks.
It does.
All right, here's the last thing you can count on Dean doing. Do you have medical anxiety? Do you have pink eye? Eczema? The stomach flu? Esophagitis? A tapeworm? Giardia? Brain-eating amoebas in your eyeballs? Have you thought about asking WebMD? A family doctor? Please, you probably do have these things. Dean knows. In fact, if you can name it, Dean has contracted it. Dean trusts his gut, and his gut tells him he probably has recently contracted syphilis, and he needs your help before it progresses. Poor Dean. His body is in a constant state of flux. Between the last questionable thing he ate to the gas station burger that took his appendix, he'll get it back. Scientists have discovered a new cure. It's Dean's gut microbiome, and it kills cancer. Lastly, I'll leave you with a piece of Dean's sage advice. He says, humans couldn't have evolved complex emotions if they weren't meant to express them. Can't express your emotions in a healthy manner? No worries, there's medication for that. In all seriousness, I really love Dean, and I'm really proud of him, and I really enjoyed witnessing all these things with him. So thank you.
Thank you.